I want to remind you of the verse you did that made me want to quit rapping. Picture a perfect picture. Picture me in a pin pack. Picture me starting shit. Picture me busting my gat.
You have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
I know
he did it. You've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before.
Hip hop is black music, without question. And unfortunately for some people, it's tough to accept that you got a white artist that does it better than black artists.
Eminem just dropped some shocking tea, and let me tell you, it's got Diddy's sons looking real nervous. Apparently Eminem is pulling back the curtain on why Diddy's kids are straight up terrified of 50 Cent. And we're not talking about some casual family drama here. We're talking about real fear. According to Eminem, the tension goes way beyond just music beef. It's been bubbling for years. We all know 50 Cent doesn't play around, especially when it comes to settling scores, and it looks like Diddy's sons are learning that lesson the hard way. Eminem's been in the game long enough to know exactly how these power moves work, and he's been spilling the beans on how 50's presence alone has these young men shaking in their boots. But it's not just about what 50 says on Instagram. This goes deep. The level of intimidation from 50's moves, his influence, and just the sheer respect he commands in the streets has made Diddy's sons realize they're not as untouchable as they thought. And with Eminem backing 50, this beef is only getting hotter. The question now is, how long can Diddy's sons keep hiding behind their dad's name before they realize 50 Cent is coming for them too? Now that 50 Cent is coming after Diddy, like a dog to a bone, you can bet Diddy's family is saying all kinds of prayers to fend off the storm. Not that it's working, but hey, whatever floats your boat, right? 50 Cent has never been shy about calling out Diddy, and he's been doing it for years. While some folks were tiptoeing around the rumors, 50 was out here practically screaming from the rooftops about Diddy's alleged antics. And now, the floodgates have busted wide open, and 50's not letting up. He's got a Netflix docu-series in the works, ready to lay it all out. From the accusations to the secrets that kept the industry buzzing for decades. It's not just about headlines anymore. It's about putting everything on full display. And 50's already calling dibs on more episodes. Because, let's face it, there's probably more tea to spill.
Did he do it, right?
I know
he did it. You've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before.
Diddy's got legal battles piling up, and while he's pleading not guilty, the court of public opinion, led by none other than 50 Cent, isn't buying it. The details coming out are jaw-dropping. Alleged racketeering, ST, and something about 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube that had 50 trolling him on Instagram. Seriously, who needs that much baby oil? Anyway, during his recent sit-down with People, he said, "Look, it seems like I'm doing some extremely outrageous things, but I haven't. It's really me just saying what I've been saying for 10 years. Now it's becoming more full-facing in the news with the Puffy stuff. But away from that, I'm like, yo, it's just my perspective because I stayed away from that stuff the entire time because this is not my style." Now, with 50 Cent being after him like a heat-seeking missile, it's no surprise Diddy's sons are shaking in their designer boots. It's not about their dad being dragged. It's 50 Cent. And when 50 smells something fishy, he doesn't just bite, he goes for the whole meal. He said, "This is a story with significant human impact. It is a complex narrative spanning decades, not just the headlines or clips seen so far. We remain steadfast in our commitment to give a voice to the voiceless and to present authentic and nuanced perspectives. While the allegations are disturbing, we urge all to remember that Sean Combs' story is not the full story of hip-hop and its culture. We aim to ensure that individual actions do not overshadow the culture's broader contributions." Eminem has always been known for his sharp tongue and fearless bars, and when it comes to Diddy, Slim Shady doesn't hold back. Over the years, Eminem's lyrics have taken multiple jabs at the embattled music mogul, and with Diddy's recent legal troubles making headlines, the buzz around their lyrical feud has been reignited, especially with the release of Eminem's latest album, Coup de Grace. This album isn't just another collection of tracks. It's a heat-seeking missile aimed squarely at the chaos surrounding Diddy. From sly digs to full-on lyrical warfare, Eminem makes it clear that he's not letting this moment slide. Take the track Fuel, for example. Featuring Jid, Eminem spits, "I ain't trying to beef with him cause he might put a hit on me like Keefy D. get him. The timing couldn't be more savage, with Keefe D recently tied to Tupac's elimination and Diddy's name being whispered in every conspiracy theorist's circle. And that's just the beginning. Another track, Antichrist, goes even harder, with Eminem declaring himself pitiless, witty, and insidious before landing more brutal hits at Diddy. The track implied that anyone questioning Eminem's lyrical reign might face consequences far worse than Diddy's mounting legal drama. Yikes. But Slim didn't just start with this album. Oh no, the tension has been simmering for decades. Back in 2000, on the Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem unapologetically dropped Diddy's name with lines like, "Sorry Puff, I don't give an F," and "Get off me, go F Puffy." It was raw, chaotic, and pure Slim Shady energy, sending a clear message to the industry nobody was off limits. Then came the infamous 2018 diss track KS, where Eminem casually rapped, "The day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Pac K'd." Even though Eminem later said it was a joke, the damage was done. Conspiracy theories exploded, dragging both Diddy and the hip-hop community back into the murky waters of Tupac and Biggie's untimely demise. With the death of Slim Shady, Eminem tied it all together, reminding everyone why he's the undisputed king of controversy. The Shady edition of Fuel takes it even further, enlisting West Side Boogie and Grip to dive into the deep end of hip-hop history. Eminem's biting verse probes the domino effect of Tupac's and Biggie's deaths, rapping, "Notorious B.I.G.'s death was the domino effect of Tupac's M. Till he's in police handcuffs, guilty. Will he step up?" It's a mic drop moment that doesn't just revisit old wounds, but tears them wide open, forcing listeners to confront the uncomfortable truths behind hip-hop's darkest moments. Now, with Diddy's legal battles intensifying, Eminem's fearless commentary couldn't be more perfectly timed. While the mogul's family might be lighting candles and saying prayers, Slim Shady is here, microphone in hand, ready to keep the heat on. Because if there's one thing Eminem knows how to do, it's taking a headline and turning it into hip-hop's most talked about bars. And let's be real, this feud is far from over since Eminem and 50 Cent have always joined forces to unmask Diddy's freak show. In case you have no idea, 50 Cent and Diddy started their beef years back. In the 1990s, 50 Cent and Combs were both rising in the hip-hop industry, and often spending time around the same people who encouraged them to work together. 50 Cent helped ghostwrite on Combs' 2001 hit, Let's Get It, and his girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, encouraged the rapper to work with 50 Cent as well. He told The Hollywood Reporter in July 2024. 50 Cent added that the two mainly had a working relationship rather than a friendship. "I wouldn't call it a friendship because there wouldn't be disappointment between us if we didn't speak to each other," he said. Didn't ever party or hang out with him, explaining that he viewed him as a business person who sometimes took credit for the tracks he didn't necessarily produce. "He's been able to take advantage of the business and the creatives in it," 50 Cent said. "I don't have any interest in doing that. I actually fall under the creative, so I just didn't take to hanging out with that." In 2006, 50 Cent released a diss track against Combs titled The Bomb, in which he insinuated Combs had something to do with Biggie's 1997 M. Well, patient was never 50 Cent's strong suits to begin with. Anyway, he said, "Who shot Biggie Smalls? We don't get 'em. They gonna us all." Man, Puffy know who hit that N. Combs has repeatedly denied the accusations, as well as the ones that allege that he had something to do with Tupac Shakur's 1996 death. The rivalry between 50 Cent and Combs has always been about more than just music. It's a clash of egos, business acumen, and a whole lot of shade. One prime example, their vodka wars. In 2007, Diddy became the face of Diego's Ciroc vodka, turning it into a staple of the nightlife scene. He reigned as the brand's kingpin for over a decade, but things took a sharp turn in January 2024 when he and Diego parted ways after a bitter lawsuit. Combs accused the company of racism, and while the exact terms of their settlement remain undisclosed, Diego walked away with full ownership of Ciroc, leaving Diddy to sip on, well, something else. Meanwhile, 50 Cent made his own splash in the vodka game in 2016 by partnering with Effin' Vodka. At the time, he told people, "When I'm out and there's nightlife, it's what I drink." It was a slick move that showed 50's knack for smart business plays. Then in 2017, he sold his shares for a cool $60 million per vibe. But even after cashing out, 50 Cent couldn't resist taking shots, pun intended, at Diddy's Ciroc empire. In a 2018 interview on the Drink Champs podcast, 50 Cent went full-on petty, saying,
Puffs is not even vodka. It's grapes. This is made from wheat. Okay. It's from Holland. It's distilled 5 times. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot less sugar and it's a lot smoother than the Ciroc brand. And then later, when you have a headache because you finished your full bottle of Ciroc, you shit banging.
Talk about it,
I'll tell you. See,
Talk about it,
I was
50.
better than you niggas.
Ouch. 50 didn't just stop at the technicalities, he framed it as another way he's outmaneuvered Diddy. While Ciroc might have been a pop culture phenomenon, 50 positioned Effin as the superior, smarter choice. And let's be real, if there's one thing 50 loves, it's reminding Diddy and the world that he's always a step ahead. Fast forward to today, and it seems like 50's still winning the battle of the brands. Diddy's vodka crown might be tarnished, but 50's influence remains undeniable, with that $60 million cash out serving as a lasting reminder of who really played the vodka game right. And honestly, knowing 50, he's probably sipping on a glass of something top shelf, raising a toast to being smarter and richer. The drama between 50 Cent and Combs is like an endless sitcom, with a lot less laugh track and way more shade. One of the most memorable moments, that time Diddy apparently wanted to take 50 Cent shopping, and let's just say, Curtis Jackson was not about it. In a 2024 interview with The Breakfast Club, 50 once again recounted the bizarre offer that had him side-eyeing Diddy for years. He asked to take me shopping. I thought that was the weirdest S in the world, because that might be something that a man says to a woman, 50 said.
At Chris Lighty's wedding, he told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
And that didn't happen once, because another time 50 claimed,
He says things, he doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he says something fabulous and he goes, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party. What is he talking about?
uncomfortable? That's an understatement. 50 made it clear that this moment was a turning point for how he viewed the music mogul. And honestly, can you blame him?
Sorry I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Dinner thieves in theaters, January.
But here's where it gets even spicier. Despite 50 Cent's sharp comments over the years, Diddy once claimed the feud was all love. On The Breakfast Club in 2018, no less. He flipped the script, insisting that 50 actually loves him.
Sometimes people that feel like they don't like you and they act like that, they really love you. Like I'm not like, you know.
Diddy's empire is starting to crumble, and his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, is pulling out all the stops to paint the music mogul as a misunderstood saint. But let's be real, these claims feel like they're getting harder and harder to believe. Agnifilo's trying to spin it like Diddy's just a misunderstood genius, emphasizing his supposed decades of philanthropic work, his dedication to his family, and his commitment to uplifting the black community. Yet with all the serious charges hanging over his head, it's hard to see how any of that is going to clean up his tarnished reputation. We are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust persecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, and proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years building an empire, adoring his children, and working to uplift the black community. Agnifilo insists, desperately clinging to the narrative, but no matter how hard they try to spin it, Diddy's facing some incredibly dark accusations. Even his kids are trying to stand by him. Quincy, Justin, Christian, and the twins, Delilah and Jesse, shared a heart-wrenching message on Instagram claiming they've been devastated by the allegations. They're holding out hope that the truth will come to light and clear their father's name. But when the charges involve ST and racketeering, it's hard not to wonder where this will all end. And then, just when you thought things couldn't get any more chaotic, another bombshell lawsuit drops. A male accuser claims Diddy aided him at a Ciroc party in 2022. Yeah, you read that right. A Ciroc party, one of Diddy's own brand-backed events, which was supposed to be about business, networking, and rubbing elbows with music industry elites. Instead, this John Doe, a luxury rental business owner, claims Diddy lured him into a private space and then proceeded to strip him down and make unwanted advances, grabbing his genitals. How did we go from a business meeting to that kind of behavior?
In the middle of the Ciroc event, the man says Diddy, already intoxicated, invited him into his private office.
And it doesn't stop there. An athlete A reportedly intervened, giving the accuser a chance to escape. This lawsuit raises some serious questions. Was this a one-off incident or just the tip of the iceberg? If this were happening at Diddy's own brand-sponsored events, could Ciroc find itself in the legal crosshairs? What's more, this is just one of 120 lawsuits that Tony Busby, the lawyer, known for his no-nonsense approach, is throwing at Diddy. The once untouchable music mogul might finally be facing the reckoning he's been able to avoid for years. Yet despite all the evidence piling up, Diddy's attorney continues to deny the allegations, claiming this is just Busby trying to get attention. It's a nasty fight, and right now, it's hard to see how Diddy walks out of this one unscathed. Well, it looks like Diddy's current accommodations at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn are raising eyebrows, and not in a good way. Despite facing serious charges of TST and racketeering conspiracy, he's reportedly been moved to the 4 North Unit, a low-security dorm that's noticeably more relaxed than other areas in the prison. This isn't your standard jail cell. It's said to house around 20 inmates and offers far fewer rules and distractions like air hockey tables. While it may sound cushy for a detention facility, here's the kicker. The unit setup has some disturbing quirks. According to a report from the New York Post, grates in the unit's floors have holes that allow inmates to lie down and peek into areas below, where women inmates are housed. This setup not only provides visual access, but also enables male inmates to talk to the women on the lower floor. Gene Borello, a former mob enforcer who's done time at MDC, spilled the tea saying, "There are grates in one of the rooms of 4 North. They have little holes. If you lay down, you can look through the holes and talk to the women 1 floor down and see them." This revelation raises major questions about the facility's structure and oversight. For someone like Diddy, already embroiled in allegations involving and exploitation, being housed in such a setting is bound to spark controversy. Critics are already wondering, why is a high-profile inmate facing such serious charges being given access to what feels like a privileged environment? It's just another bizarre twist in a case that keeps getting messier by the day. Whether this housing arrangement will hold up under public scrutiny remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, Diddy's situation is anything but typical. It's especially perplexing because, in another development, federal prosecutors say Diddy's lawyers are trying to take control of his criminal case, pushing for early disclosure of evidence, including the identities of his accusers. Prosecutors are asking the judge to reject his request, calling it blatantly improper. Defense lawyers are pushing for victim identities and other evidence to be disclosed, but prosecutors argue that this is an attempt to undermine the government's case. They've also requested a gag order to stop the accusers' lawyers from speaking out, claiming media leaks are threatening a fair trial. Prosecutors shot back, saying the requests were a thinly veiled attempt to restrict the government's proof at this early stage of the case and to hijack the criminal proceedings so the defendant can respond to civil lawsuits. This demand should be squarely rejected, especially in light of the risk it poses to witness safety. And as the defendant well knows, there is zero legal authority for this attempt to co-opt this criminal proceeding to defend against civil litigation. That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos like this.